Hi, this is Rob Hopkins from Transition Network, and I'm really, really grateful to be able to be here today with you and share a few thoughts. And thank you so much for the invitation. I hope you've had a really exciting, dynamic day thinking about transition and how all this sort of thing might work. We've been in Transition Network, in the transition movement, we've had now a 12-year experiment in 50 countries around the world thinking about this. And so I was asked to share what for me were some of the most important ingredients for success in doing transition at the local level. So I have just a few that came from a kind of manifesto thing that we created on our 10th anniversary, and people said, so what have you learned? What works, what doesn't work? So first thing I would say is that for me this is about how we reimagine and rebuild the places where we live. And that reimagining bit is really important, just as important as the rebuilding bit, because creating those spaces in 2018 where people can come together to imagine the future as an exciting possibility rather than as something really terrifying that we don't want to look at. There are so few spaces where those kind of conversations happen. There are so few what if spaces left in 2018. So the work that you do, the work that transition groups do, creating and holding spaces where people can dream and can imagine the future, but always in the context of then, okay, so we're going to do it. When do we start? What are we going to do first? Is really important. That reimagine and rebuild is a really important foundation for transition, I think. The next one is I think we need to be really looking at identifying opportunities. You know, we live in a time when it can feel like the world around us is completely fixed and there's no more opportunities and the supermarkets run everything and everything is lost. Actually, there are so many niches and opportunities and openings when we can put on our kind of possibilities glasses that allow us to see things in a different way. What we see in transition groups again and again and again is people who are identifying those openings, those possibilities. So I would really stress the importance of that, looking at the place where you live with new eyes and identifying the opportunities. I would also say that regular celebration is vital. Often in our movements we are so busy trying to save the world that we never stop and celebrate, and as a result so many brilliant people are lost out of our movements through burnout. So looking after each other, celebrating often is really important. Keeping telling great stories is a really important one as well, because we will win this by having the best stories. The stories that most touch people most deeply, the things they care about, the places they love, the people they love. And we have to become the best, the most gifted storytellers. Increasingly what I do in my work is all around storytelling and finding those brilliant stories from transition that really, really move people. Putting care at the centre is something that's really vital to transition as well, I think. That sense of how do we best care for each other? How do we make sure that our transition groups have designed into them the creation of a new human culture which is not about power over each other, competition, but it's really fundamentally about how we care for each other, look after each other, support each other, trust each other. That's where the resilience and the sustainability of our transition groups come from. And the last one I would share is just to say to remain creative and playful and open. And there's a lovely spirit, I think, that comes through that we see again and again in transition groups, that sense of play, that sense of just trying things out. No, there is no guarantee that we have the right answers. What matters is that we try, and that we try things, and we try things with a good heart and with a celebratory kind of a spirit. So there's just a few little ingredients to sprinkle into the delicious meal which you have already created today. I hope you've had a brilliant day, and thanks so much for the invitation just to share a few thoughts with you. And yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.